Oh, it's you. Then I can take that off. Great to see you again on a very special edition of The Real Deal, because I didn't want to have to wait until the weekend to go through a couple of things. If you're in Brisbane, you have been plunged into a lockdown and you're probably feeling a little bit flat, a little bit uncertain. You're probably hanging out for the 11 a.m. press conference telling us how many new cases there are, and it's easy to get wrapped up in that downward negative spiral. And if you're staying home, it's easy just to sleep around in your pajamas. So I just wanted to encourage you about some of the positives that we do have control of. First of all, obviously we can take control of our own immediate surroundings, making it as nice as we can, as presentable as possible. Then of course we can control what we eat, when we eat, how we eat, and of course not necessarily who we eat with or even where we eat, but at least you can control what you put into your body and of course what you are paying attention to. And then of course you can also control how you move, and that is exactly why a car doesn't need to be in a garage. You need to be in that garage and you need to be lifting some weights, doing some cardio, and just getting those endorphins flowing. So that's just a little bit of personal stuff from me, which I know helped me in the last lockdown. But I'm going to talk about some positives about what COVID did to property and what COVID taught us about property and continues to teach us, because it's not over yet. Well, first of all, the location is very, very important, because if you're going to be locked down or in quarantine, there's been a lot more value placed on the location. You're going to want to exercise around the local park if you're allowed to, of course with your mask on, but that's exactly why places near the water, near parks, green spaces and beachside locations are now going for even more of a premium than ever before. People are prepared to pay high prices for the best properties. We listed one the other day, which is the ultimate party house. It's got this amazing backyard. It's on over 1,100 square meters. It's 10 k's to the city. It's got a huge pool area, lots of gazebos, lots of different places to escape to. And if people are going to have to holiday from home, they're going to plow all of their properties in, all of their money into their principal place of residence. If they can't get away and their holidays have been cancelled, they're going to make their pool area their resort, where they can actually hang out during those lockdowns and at least escape from the rest of the family. So yes, there's been a lot of upgrades, a lot of people deciding to stay and spend some money where they are. Now, the other thing that COVID's done as well with properties is I've been called in on more than one occasion with people that were going to retire saying, oh, look, life is so short, let's just retire sooner. Even though we're not able to drive around, the stress of having to work with a mask, work with restrictions, I just can't be bothered. I've got enough money. I'm just going to offload the investment property now and we're actually going to retire. So people are doing it sooner. The time is now. People are also wanting, and this goes without saying, more rooms, better floor plans. They're redesigning their houses. They're wanting little spaces to escape to, things like cinema rooms, definitely bigger backyards. And one of the things we know, if we've got a townhouse, even if it's old and dated and a bit daggy, but it's got a really good courtyard area, we're also selling those for a little bit more of a premium now, because people are wanting a garden, they're wanting some space, they're staying home, they're now getting the puppy that they couldn't get when they were in the city. They've got longer at home, therefore they're wanting somewhere to put the puppy or the cat or whatever. Of course, cats go inside. Now, once upon a time, pre-COVID, there was the lock up and go mantra. You know, we're just going to lock up and go. No, you're locked up now and you don't go. So the whole thing of the tiny little backyard, low maintenance stuff, that's kind of not a thing anymore. People want to garden, grow herbs, bake bread, stay home. They don't have a choice. So therefore, there's no locking up and going on a cruise. That's not a thing. Of course, technology in this brave new world is a thing with virtual tours. Now, we're a little bit ahead of the game. We got our virtual tour camera long before COVID. All of our rental properties get a free virtual tour. Compliments of Gabby Horsburgh, who's doing this video. Thank you, Gabby. She does an awesome job. And also Michael, our videographer. We are big on videos. We always have been, always will be. It's something that we believe strongly in, especially for interstate purchases. We're also resorting to Auction Now as an app. So even though we are holding auctions when we are able to, we still put them on Auction Now as an app. There's also things like Inspect Real Estate that we implemented and embraced, which is typically used by property managers, but we were using those to schedule our open homes. So people could literally slot in. We do one at 10, one at 10 past, one at 20 past, and you basically stack people up and they can inspect without bumping shoulders with other people. Of course, at the moment, we don't have a choice. We're having to do that, but it's certainly been a great way to manage your time and our time and minimize your contact. The other thing we're seeing serious buyers at the moment. There used to be this wonderful word only used in Australia, the tire kicker, or the sticky beak neighbour. I'm really sad to say we don't get to meet too many neighbours anymore, but then again, we don't really want people coming to open homes that aren't genuine buyers. If you want an appraisal, rather pick up the phone and call us and we'll come out. We'll brave it with our masks and gloves if we have to, or my special COVID kit. We'll come and visit you, but it's best not to check out what's on the market in your neighbourhood, especially not really fair if you're not a genuine buyer in the current situation. So stay home, don't go and visit open homes unless you absolutely, or visit properties unnecessarily unless you are genuinely a purchaser. And if you are wanting to do research, rather get us to do the research for you. That's what we're here for. Very important. Number 7, houses don't get sick. People get sick. Most of the time they recover, but houses don't get sick. Which brings me to point 8. Houses don't die. Property never dies. People do. We see disease estate auctions. We're all going to die. Let's just get rid of this little notion that we're going to be here forever, because we're not. Okay, we're going to get taxed and we're going to die. Those are definite certainties. All of us, you and I. Sad as it may be. But if I die, my property doesn't. It stays behind and it gets inherited by somebody else who's very fortunate indeed, because I just put a nice pool in. So properties don't die. They might get knocked down. The land itself is there. So properties don't get sick, properties don't die. Just remember that. People need somewhere to live, people need somewhere to hibernate to. When an animal gets sick, it runs into a hole in the ground normally, if there is one, or it hides in a corner, or it hides under a bed. If it's sick and it's scared, us humans are no different. We hibernate, we run to a place of safety. Shelter is more important now than ever. And of course, number 9, what do you do during a lockdown when you haven't got much to do other than work? Of course, we're all meant to work exactly the same hours as we do normally. I know you are, but for those that aren't, you're probably renovating your house, because all of a sudden you've seen all the things that you need to do that haven't been done, all the projects that should be done that have been put off because you're busy having a drink at the rooftop terrace bar, or you know, you're on holiday in the Caribbean and doing all the things that you normally do to escape the things at home that you have to do. Now they're staring you in the face, you can't put them off. Get them done. And on that note, please paint your houses, because seriously, the number of properties that I have to sell that need a paint, getting a painter is very, very difficult at the moment. Getting any tradie in to do anything at the moment, or handyman, is difficult. So do some work on your house. You know, don't wait till you want to go on the market. It's too late then, because you know how many crazy rush jobs we have to do, which puts a lot of pressure on the agent, on the videographer, on the photographer, on the stylist, and quite often we're selling houses that really, frankly, could go for more if they were just painted, but we can't wait 3 months to paint them, especially not in this market. So just keep those little things in mind. I know it's been very long, but I'm sure you've learned a lot today, and I will get back to doing some work, because you know what? Life goes on.